music is that?
Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Give it up for Deja for that slide presentation, boy. She's doing a marvelous job. How you doing, Nadiana?
Good night. I'm gonna say good night. Good evening, everybody.
Hey, you know, even though she's you know, didn't want to show her yet, just yet, but welcome Michelle Quill to the show tonight. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are doing fine. How about you, young? Let's give Missy some welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us tonight.
All right, all right, all right. So, Missy, how have you been? Can you hear me?
I've been great. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's go back in time real quick, okay?
I've been well. I'm doing great.
Tell us where you're from.
I am homegrown. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland, born and raised.
And what are some of the things that you enjoyed doing while growing up?
I mean, I grew up in the 70s, so playing outside, playing basketball, playing football, um, baseball, stickball, kickball, anything that was outside, climbing trees.
Oh, okay, okay. So now, what sport did you enjoy playing the most, and who did you look up to? Who did you feel was a mentor to you while growing up?
Um, the sport I enjoyed most was basketball, and it was my uncle Kim. He was the first figure I knew playing sports that I remember. Like I remember you playing a little bit, but I don't have a good memory of that. But I do have a memory of Kim playing football at University of Maryland Eastern Shore.
Okay, okay, okay. What do
So
you
he
remember?
is who I looked up to.
Do you remember wearing my uniform while playing recreational sports?
Do I, do I remember your uniform?
Yeah, when you played down at the city rec league, who uniform were you wearing at the city league? Huh?
Well, I guess those was yours. I do remember you coached boys basketball, and y'all used to practice at the old Bates High School in the gym. And I remember coming to a couple of your practices. I don't remember seeing a game, but yes, we wore when I played rec league at 9 years old. We wore the uniforms that you coached. So the uniforms you coached in or whatever. your players played in, we wore those uniforms, myself and my brother, and a few other Spy Road personnel.
Well, you felt like a champion when you were wearing that uniform, right?
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and humor you, sure. Sure. Yeah, I felt like a champ. I felt like a
I,
professional.
WNBA style.
hey, look, hey, before I
Yo.
pass, before I
So
pass,
yeah.
before I pass to Ayana, now, who was your biggest competitor that you played against? Uh, I would say middle school, high school, and probably while you were young. Who was your biggest competitor?
I mean, everybody in Annapolis, if you grew up in Annapolis, um, in my age group, it, it was only two. I'm not saying the other girls weren't good, but it was Tammy Brown, Missy Quille. Tammy Brown.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are having some technical difficulties, but bear with us. We're going to get through this. Uh, go ahead, Ayana.
So you played basketball since the age of 9. What are some of the positions you played?
Some other positions or sport.
What are some of the positions you played in basketball? Were you a point guard or Ma, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Michelle, can you
Okay.
can you hear?
I know she has a major
Yes,
delay.
I can hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
Okay.
was asking what positions did you play in basketball?
Oh, I played mostly point guard. Growing up, I wasn't really tall. I was a little short. I wasn't like extremely tall or extremely short, but the position I was put in or I started in was point guard, and that's kind of where I stayed throughout my basketball career.
Awesome. So tell us about your high school career and what that was like. You played for Annapolis High School?
I did. My high school, it was a good experience. I really enjoyed my high school team. We had a pretty decent team. Um, some of my accolades was I was all Metro my sophomore year. Probably my junior and senior year also, but I couldn't find anything on that. But I definitely was all county my junior and my senior year. So I had a pretty decent high school career.
Awesome. And did you move on to play ball on the college level?
I did. But before that, well, while in high school, I played on the AAU team, and
Awesome. Mhm.
my team was the first AAU team in Anne Arundel County. So that playing AAU, I gained a lot of exposure to college recruits. So I did. I was offered a scholarship to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Awesome.
So now, okay. you're at UMBC, right? Now you were recruited numerous
Hmm.
different colleges. So how do you feel about your decision of going to UMBC versus Virginia, University of Maryland, and your Uncle Kim Jones? How do you feel? Do you feel that you made the best decision?
Um, I'm gonna say yes because if I had gone somewhere else, I wouldn't be where I am today. So,
Okay.
we can, hindsight's 20, right? We can always go back and say, oh, but what if I had done this or what if I had done that, if only. But we really never know because we chose the path that we chose and we are here where we are. So, but sometimes I do think like had I gone to Virginia and played with Dawn Staley, what would that have looked like?
All right. Now you
Yeah.
mentioned Dawn. You mentioned Dawn Staley name. Now, what kind of relationship do you have with her today?
I don't have a relationship with her. I mean, she coaches South Carolina basketball, and I am a huge fan
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
South Carolina basketball and Dawn Staley. You know,
No doubt.
I've when Virginia was recruiting me, I did not meet her. You
Okay.
know, and that was my fault because you know Kim was pushing me to do a visit, a visit there, a visit at Maryland, and just to see if I would, like the campus, like the schools or whatever. But I didn't do it. And I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand why I didn't do it
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
was supposed to be at UNBC.
Ah, all right. All right. Who are some of the people that you played up against while at UMBC, and what are some of your achievements accomplished at UMBC?
You said, who did I play against?
Yeah, who are some of the well-known talent that you played against while at UMBC or with UMBC?
I mean, I can't remember those girls, but I do know that they were talented. But
Yeah,
we had a good squad.
yeah,
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 had yeah, good teams like Felice Pinckney, Karen Woodard,
yeah.
um, Ann Wellington,
Ah,
Angel
yeah.
Webb, Reese,
Wow.
Karen Swan.
Hmm.
You know, we had some great teams. Nikki Tinsley, Robbie
Okay.
Hutton, Mandy Wolstenholme. I mean, we had some good players at UMBC.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What was your biggest accomplishment that you made while playing at UMBC?
Well, let's see, I was all conference um, my junior and senior years. Um, I was the first female athlete to record a triple double.
Really?
Um,
Okay.
finished my career in first in assists, first in steals, third in scoring. I mean, and I was inducted into the UMBC Athletic Hall of Fame.
Major. Awesome. Awesome. Now,
I mean,
I'm
that was
gonna
a that was a pretty big deal.
that's a very big deal. Very big deal. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, my biggest regret was not being able to play you one on one because I was traveling the world. But we can do that now. You know that, right?
It's gonna be the same result if we would have played back then or if we played now.
Hey, I'm going to give it to Ayana, but at the same time, I'm going to drop off for a second and make some adjustments on YouTube so we can see the comments. Okay. All yours, Yana.
And
All right.
so, and so you played college ball, and what did you major in at the time?
I majored in sociology.
Awesome. What made you choose that major?
Um, as I was interested in the drug pandemic. It had just started, and I actually really wanted to get into rehab and counseling, but you know, I didn't. After I graduated, I didn't want to do that. But that's why I chose it initially, is because of that. The crack cocaine pandemic was becoming very large, and I just wanted to help people.
It's so funny. I asked you that because I majored in the same thing for very similar reasons. And so,
That's awesome.
so you majored in sociology, and then I noticed in your bio it said after college you went into the military. What informed that decision?
Um, yeah, so I think once my athletic eligibility was up, um, my scholarship ended, but I still needed a semester to finish school, and I didn't have the money to pay for that. So I quit school and went to work um, for the post office. But I got hired as a casual. So a casual is a temporary employee. So you can only work 6 months out of a year, and I just so happened to get hired July through December, and then they picked me up again January to June. And then once that was over, I was like, I don't have anything to do, so I'm gonna go in the military. So it was kind of that decision. Like I needed a job, I needed steady income, so I thought that was the best decision at the time.
Okay, awesome. Back on you, Armand.
Did you play any sports while in the military?
Oh yeah, I played all army basketball. Uh, played for 2 years. Um, that was a great experience. I love playing all army basketball. Met some great players playing all army basketball. Um, it was a great time.
It was a great time.
And I played, of course, post level basketball. Oh yeah,
Okay.
it was a great time.
Some of your
Wouldn't
best
trade for the
years.
world.
Some of your best years, huh?
Oh yeah.
So now
Oh yeah.
when you went in the army, you were enlisted, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
started off enlisted.
enlisted. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So talk about briefly about your enlisted years. Now, how did you enjoy being a sergeant, right? And before you answer that, Orlando
I
Meg-
I
Orlando Mega said the best player he had 9 and 12. Talking about you, rec league.
All right. That's right. That's what's up. He know what he's talking about.
Okay, all right. Now talk about your years as an enlisted or a sergeant. What and then what card? What was your MOS?
So I started off. I enlisted as a operating room tech. Um, when I came in as a PFC. So private first class, uh, OR tech. and my first duty assignment was Wiesbaden, Germany. And it's funny because, you know, recruiters tell you, oh, you're going to be in a hospital, don't worry about it. You're operating room tech, you're going to be where the OR surgeries are. So I get to my first duty assignment, which was Wiesbaden, Germany, the 212 MASH, Mobile Army Surgical Hospital, right? I didn't know what that meant. So I'm on the bus and we pulling on to Wiesbaden Concern, and I'm looking around for the hospital. So I'm looking around and it's like, I don't see a hospital. And it was a field unit. And again, it was a mobile Army surgical hospital. So it meant that it was mobile. Like we could pick our hospital up and move it to wherever we wanted to move it. And so I'm in the unit. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And we do our first field exercise. And it was November in Grafenwehr, Germany. And I know you've been to Germany, Armin, and it's in Grafenwehr, it's very cold in November.
Mhm.
So we get out there and we're setting up our hospital and we're setting up our sleeping area, our tents. And we didn't get our heaters out in time. So the first night we slept in the tent with no heaters. When I woke up the next morning, you know, I woke up I woke up to frost on myself, on my sleeping bag. You know, I was cold, and that's the first and only time I questioned my decision. Like, why did I do this? It's cold out here. We don't have any heat. I'm never gonna get warm. I got frostbite, you know, but it all worked out. It all worked out. The sun came up and it got a little warmer, heated us up a little bit, and we finally got our heaters in our tents, and the rest of the exercise was okay. But that was that was a little funny story about my first assignment. But anyway, that was Germany, and from Germany, I moved on to Fort Sam Houston, Texas, in the medical center, which was, of course, bigger than the mobile hospital. It was a hard building, a hospital. Um, Worked as an OR tech, and then I got moved to be the NCOIC of the surgical clinic. So that was a good experience because, you know, I was basically leading a clinic as an E4.
Wow, as an E4?
And then let's
That's
see,
awesome.
after that assignment as an E4, yeah. Yeah, I was the NCOIC of the surgical clinic.
Awesome. Awesome. Is that my
And then I moved back home.
is that my
Hmm?
boy barking? Otis?
No, that's Rosie or Olivia. No, Otis doesn't bark much.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Finish your story.
Let's see, from BAMSI or Brooke Army Medical Center, I was assigned to Kimbrough Ambulatory Care
Mhm.
Center at Fort Meade, Maryland. And when I got back home, you know, well, while there, I made sergeant and I made staff sergeant, and I decided to go back to school and finish that semester. It's crazy because the Army has so many programs um, that a lot of people don't know about and take advantage of the programs. But I re-enlisted for a program they called the school option, right? So with the school option, basically I had a semester off and I went to school and the Army paid for it.
Mm.
So that's how I finished my degree. I re-enlisted took the school option program, went back to school, and finished my degree. Now, while I was finishing up that semester, 9/11 happened.
Mm.
So the folks in the athletic department, they knew that I was back in school, and they were concerned that I would have to leave school and go back to my unit. But you know, my unit, they told me to go ahead and finish my school and just you know, check in with them regularly to see, you know, what was going on or what was currently happening in the unit. So that's kind of how I finished my degree, and then I applied for OCS.
You went on to the dark side, huh?
I went over to the best side.
Go ahead,
So for us
Leon.
non-military folks, what is OCS?
I'm sorry, that's officer candidate school. So I got accepted into the program, and you know, basically it was like basic training all over again, except we were taught a little more things, military history, history in general. Um, yeah, so and how to be an officer. That's what the school is. So yeah, it's kind of almost
Okay,
like
great.
basic
And so
training on civilians.
you finished your degree, so kudos to you for that. And how did you end up
Like,
using what you learned um, in school towards what you were doing as an officer? Did it have any influence on how you performed your duties and your tasks?
well, you know, uh, my degree helped me relate to people, you know,
Mhm.
because being in the military, that's basically all it is. You have to be a people person to do well, not do well, but you have to be a people person because that's your product really, is people. How you manage
Mhm.
people, how do you get people to do things that you want, how do you influence people? That's basically what the army is about.
Awesome. And so,
Influence, teaching, coach.
absolutely. And so, what are you up to these days?
I'm still doing it. I'm just not in uniform. So I work for um the 97th Infantry Brigade, or 229 Infantry Battalion, as a training tech. So I'm pretty much a resourcer, a scheduler. I schedule all the training for infantry basic training. So I'm still around soldiers, and I'm still influence, coaching, and teaching.
Mhm. Wonderful, wonderful, Ma.
So you've done 20 years in the Army. All right. You're a civilian employee. How do you feel? Do you think that your patience, uh, do you do you have patience with the civilians? How's your patience when it comes to people?
Yeah, I have a lot of patience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in what aspect are you talking about, the civilian employees around the military?
Yeah,
Yeah, because basically most of them have already been where I've been, you know,
true.
so we kind of have an understanding of like what's going on and what's not going on, you know, what's
Yeah.
happening, good or bad. We kind of have an understanding. So I don't have patience with civilians. Sometimes I don't have patience with the soldiers.
Uh, uh, uh,
Yeah, because you know, we all have stories about how we did it, right? You know, when I was in, we did it this way and we did it that way. But, you know,
yeah.
as time goes on, things change. right?
Hmm.
So I'm not in the army anymore. So I should have a lot of patience with the soldiers because that's how they do things.
Uh-huh.
It may not be the way that I would do it, but it's accepted now how they do things. So I kind of just shake my head at it and just move on. I don't try not to let it concern me because it'll stress me out, and I don't want to
Mm.
be stressed out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, being in a leadership position as you were, and uh, your expectation for having things completed in a timely manner, do you ever find yourself reverting back to your military experience as a leader or anything like that?
Sometimes I do, but again,
Oh,
the, so I work in a training company, right?
uh,
So there's drill sergeants. Um, Sometimes when I ask for things, sometimes they'll give it to me, and sometimes they don't. If they don't, I'll just go find what I need myself and do it because I can't wait for them. You
right,
know,
right, 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 right.
things are still due. Things are still due. So my waiting on them will make my product late. And I don't want to make my product late. So I'll just do what I need to do to find the answer and keep it moving.
Awesome,
But,
awesome.
but, but, but I will let them know that you didn't give me what I asked for.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, all right. Well, Ron McGee had a question for you. He wants to know who was your toughest player you played against in high school and college?
I mean, we in college, um, we played the University of Maryland,
Mm,
and they crushed us. Like
yeah.
crushed us. I don't even think we scored 40 points.
Wow.
It was tough. It was really tough just getting the ball across half court. Um, but I mean, it was an experience to help us prepare for our season because, of course, we weren't on the caliber with the University of Maryland. Um, we were well below that, and it showed. So um, I'll say the 1991 University of Maryland team, tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
But
then,
great,
you know,
great.
I mean, high school, it was Broadneck.
Okay. Okay. Is that where Tammy went to school at?
That's where Tammy went to school. Yeah.
Yeah, that was some stiff competition, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So
Mhm.
you pretty much were a defensive player, huh? You pride yourself off of defense more so than you were a point guard, right?
I was. No,
Okay.
I mean, I like playing defense.
Yeah,
I, yeah, yeah, I pride myself on, stopping the other person from scoring, um, doing that, but I love to score too.
yeah, yeah,
But it was just more of I like to get my teammates involved too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the position that I played required that to get
Uh,
my teammates involved. So that's what I did. And I mean, could I have scored a lot more? I'm pretty sure I could have, um, but then that would have left my teammates out. So getting them involved, helping them out, making sure we did what the coach wanted, which was run the plays. So I did that as a point guard. I was the coach on the floor.
wow. Yeah, yeah. You were amazing. I just wish that I was able to see more of you in high school and in college. I saw you play a few times in college, but I didn't see you play in high school. But I've heard a lot about you and Tammy, your
Mhm.
biggest rival. right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But the thing about it is, she was my rival, my biggest rival. But off the court, we were cool.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah,
thought she was an amazing player, right? So I wanted to absorb, you know, what she was doing. I wanted to
yeah,
learn from her to improve my game. So yeah, I love playing with her. Hanging out with her, trying to get some of her moves. Because I mean, I was strictly fundamental.
mm,
I'm gonna cross you up and then I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna go behind the back too much between the legs. I'm not doing all of that. I'm just doing enough to get to the basket.
mm.
But Tammy could handle the ball like nobody I ever seen. So I was
Yeah,
like, well, I want to do that too. I want to learn how to do that too. So we were cool. We were cool off the court.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Ayana.
So, during your career or at some point in your life, I'm not sure, like you didn't talk about your family. So did you have a family or children or anyone who kind of followed in your footsteps?
Um, let's see. I didn't have a family up until 19 2009 when I met my wife, and she had a son, Zachary, who was 9 years old. And I like to say that I influenced Zachary to go into the military because he did. He went to the Air Force and he is doing extremely well. He just made Texas um, staff sergeant. I'm sorry, he's in the Air Force, so he just made staff sergeant. So he just got promoted. Well, just made the list. He hasn't pinned on yet,
All
but
right.
I'm extremely proud of him.
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations on that. It's wonderful.
Thank-
So your BFF says, "What up, best friend?" Her name Alyssa.
What up, best friend? Hey, girl. Hey. So it
Oh,
sounds like you had a good support system in your uncle, and that you're also a support system for other people. Speak to the importance of just having a good support system, whether you are going through high school, college, or the military.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have a good support system. Just have somebody to bounce ideas off of. Especially if they've they are doing or have done something that you want to do. Like they have experience and knowledge that they can share with you. So I think it's very important to have a support system, just in that aspect alone.
Mm, absolutely. And what you got?
you know, Ayana, Michelle and I used to sometimes joke. I would tell her, I'd have ran circles around you as you first saw it, and she would put me at parade. She's an officer, right? But she actually this is what she did. We were outside up at Fort Meade, and the flag was going down. They was playing the music. She made me stand at attention. You got to stand at attention. I ain't standing no attention. Shoot.
Yeah, you gotta stand at attention. They made the kids in school stand at attention. Even the kids who didn't have weren't in military families, they had
Yeah,
to stand at attention and wait.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
he was living on post. He was living on post, and I was at his house, and we were standing outside talking. And he had retired. And I was still in. But he was living on post. So therefore, you on post. That means you have to give the courtesy. The flag went off, taps went off, That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
was. It was
yeah,
cats that was playing.
yeah,
Therefore, you needed to stand at attention.
yeah.
Saw in first class.
And she looks very, she's serious about that thing. And,
Yeah,
you know, oh, Missy, some people just don't like to follow rules. I don't even know how they got through the military. I'm just leaving it.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't even think he stood at attention, to be honest.
What? Anyway, Missy, what was your what was your greatest accomplishment made while in the United States Army?
My greatest accomplishment
Yeah,
was uh, setting out and doing what I said I wanted to do, which was retire as a major, and I did that.
yeah, you did.
That was my biggest accomplishment, and I set that goal when I got to Kimbrough and got accepted to the OCS program.
Yeah, that's awesome. 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 So now, before I end this, Ayana, do you have anything that you want to mention to or ask Michelle?
No, it's been a pleasure interviewing you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I look forward to receiving updates about things you're working on and how Legends of the Past and Future can support what you're doing.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Now, Missy, what what would you like to leave? What encouraging word would you like to leave for anyone that's aspiring to become uh, 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 someone who wants to join the military or go to college? What encouraging word would you leave our youth out there?
Um, so for the military, you know, a lot of kids say, I don't want anybody telling me what to do, and I just can't do that. So I'm gonna say this: somebody's gonna always tell you what to do, whether you like it or not. You just have to understand what it is the Army can provide for you, or the military. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Army, but what can it do to help you better yourself? Um, you know, it's not for everybody. Um, you're gonna miss a lot because you're gonna be taken away from your core family, and you have to be okay with that. So if that's something that you want to do, go see a recruiter, but understand what you're getting yourself into. And then for college, if you want to go to college, college is the best time of your life. It's the best 4 years of your life. It's hard, but it's the best 4 years of your life. You're gonna meet some great people that's gonna be your friends forever. And that's for the military too. You're gonna meet people that's gonna be your friends forever.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, Missy, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for stepping up to the plate like you did. At the last second. You know,
Yeah, last second. Last second.
it was. I mean, what can I say? It was the last second. But you came through, and I appreciate. I appreciate you. You know, you had a shared a great story. Your military career, your personal career, a life coming up, and that. Thank you, thank you, and for everyone out there who's been viewing, you're on YouTube. Please subscribe to the show. We are just growing. The numbers are growing, and we're looking for sponsors. Yana, what do you have to say about sponsors? What do you think?
Oh, Amani, so slick. Legends of the Past and Future is seeking sponsorships. We have several packages available for different levels of engagement. Your sponsorship dollars help us to help fund college students. It helps us to provide financial assistance for them. including internships. We have an intern working with us right now. She's at Frostburg State University. She is a senior, and so it helps us to provide paid internships as well as financial assistance to college students, and continue bringing great content and wonderful shows such as this.
That's right. That's right. And we are now planning an event. More to follow. More to follow on the event, the future event. We want to thank everybody for viewing tonight. Thank you for Orlando, Lodi Maker for your comments. Ron, Alyssa. Thank you guys. Again, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. And next week we'll have another outstanding show. A definite OG legend next week. Coach Larry Brock. He coached me in high school. Tune in next week. Another show. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.